I think that was it. I think, every once in a while, because like a guy like Andy Patterson needed a frame built for him. I think Andy was 6'2", 6'3", and
Yeah.
like we were talking before this, the parts that started coming out were driven by Andy. Laid back seat posts, pro handlebars. That was driven by a tall guy where there just wasn't good equipment for them yet, and others were developing it at the same time. But I think that era, 1981, 82, is when we really saw it sort of come about. You didn't see, a guy too tall in a PK Ripper, or something like that. That's why Stu they had to do the STR because there's no way he'd been riding FMF. It was the same geometry as the early Rippers.
Yeah, yeah.
So
for those that don't know what he's talking about, I had interviewed. I had a conversation with Danny Pena. We were talking about the GT Pro in a magazine, and I had made a comment that the GT. Danny thought that I was talking about the geometry of the frame. I was talking about the seat placement in the picture. When I made that comment, I was like, dude, the seat's too far forward on the seat post. And he thought I was talking about that the seat was too close geometry wise. And he goes, that's why Andy Patterson curated the layback seat post. And I was shocked. I was like, I've never heard this before. And he's like, yeah, Andy was on a podcast telling the story about how he came up with the idea of the layback seat post, and he had GT make him the seat post. And then you made a comment saying, no, that's really not true, right?
it's true and it's not. So the truth is, Cook's Brothers had the laid back post. It had the support, right? 78, 77, whenever they were top of the heap guys. Andy needed the seat back further, and so he asked Gary to make him a laid back post, and I would say it's probably the first unbraced post. I'm guessing that was an 06.5 post. So yeah, and I ran one. I was tall because that GTC2 was just a little bit too. The angle was just too far forward, and for us to be able to sit down in a turn, we needed the seat back further. Simple
now,
as that.
do you think it makes the bike look bad? I think they're ugly.
I don't know. I rode one for a year and a half. I don't know.
Why is it that every CW Phase 1 has that ugly ass layback seat post on it? You know what I'm talking about? Every guy that restores a Phase 1, I think that's a CW post, right? It's a brace post. And it's so far back, dude. It's like over the back wheel. I'm like, come on. No one ever raced this bike, dude. Come on, man. It's ugly. And then they have the seat guts turned around the wrong way, so you can see you can see where the post goes through the guts, and you can see the nut on the. It's like, oh man, come on, you got to turn the guts around and then put the seat. But anyways, I
think
I never got it.
Because maybe here's the thing. Like I used to have a garage full of new old stock parts from from my mail order company, and the stuff that you end up